What's going on, guys? It's Levi at Old Iron Offroad. Worked on this little Scout 80 belonging to a friend of mine, Sean. Brought it in initially after several trips. Due to all the extra gear that he carries, there was a definite need for some sort of a load capacity enhancing device in the back of the truck. Also kind of had a weird lean to it also that we were trying to address. He ended up purchasing a Firestone universal airbag kit. We kind of looked at the kit and we had initially thought that it was going to be a lot easier of an install than it ended up being. We got it all fit up and put in, no big deal, but basically the bracketry that comes with the kit is really, really robust. It's really wide and kind of cumbersome, so to make it easier to fit, we pretty much chopped the brackets all to pieces. We did actually use the brackets, we just cut them down and pieced them back together. Got the kit installed. The airbags are really heavy, up to 100 PSI bags, so that's a pretty good rating on those bags. The width of the chassis of a Scout 800 kind of lended its own issues as far as installing the kit because of the clearance issue with the outside edge of the tire and the bag and the frame. It all was kind of trying to occupy the same space. But we overcame all that, got it all installed. Overall, it worked out really well. We aired the passenger side bag up to 70 PSI, and that took the lean completely out of the truck. And we put about 10 PSI in the other bag just to kind of take the load off of the springs. Kit worked as it was intended to do, so I think that's going to work out well. Also, while he was in here, we ended up addressing a few other issues, and also did Sean sorted out an install of the AIRBAG compressor to kind of help with the function of the bag. I mean, you could obviously use gas station air or an available compressor, but to be able to change air pressures and stuff on the fly kind of needed its own air supply. So he got that sorted. We ended up noticing a couple of other issues while it was in here. Brake pads were diminished on the driver's side, and it actually kind of chewed the rotor a little bit, so we sorted that out, did a full bearing service on the front end, got the front end all sorted. We actually also ended up pulling one of the spacer blocks out of the front passenger side that was reinstalled after the lift kit install, because typically with the Scout you put them in there, you don't, you move them around, whatever. We actually took that out and believe that really helped with the lean. Regardless, the bags are still going to be a must-have with this rig. They're definitely going to help with the load carrying capacity of this truck and take a lot of load off the springs, but that definitely helped with the lean. Wheel cylinder in the back was leaking. We addressed that. Checked the wheel bearings. This thing's still set up as a non-oil bath rear axle, so we dug into the rear wheel bearings just to kind of verify that they were greased and that they had recently been serviced, just to make sure that it was not going to axle shaft decide to exit the vehicle. Pulled those out, and they had actually been replaced. They were with a not so ideal flat roller bearing, but obviously they've survived to this point. But I think Sean at some point intends on replacing them with this good set of Timken set 10s and a 9912 bearing. But yeah, other than that, I think we've got it all fixed up and ready for its next adventure. So enjoy. Oh man, those are serious. Holy crap. So these are chassis brackets. We may actually even modify down just a bit. Airline. Oh, it comes with a little bracket kit for the valves. Fittings and miscellaneous hardware. Pretty sure these are the axle side brackets. Goodness. Man, we actually might be able to use those as is. That's a hefty airbag. Actually, I'm gonna take one of these out here and fit it up underneath your chassis just to kind of get a visual look. Yeah, I think those will actually work really well. Yeah, I think we can do something with them. I believe your bump stops are gonna have to go away. So.
I can see him.
5 1/4 off the chassis. We actually got about 6. We should have plenty of room. And actually that clearance is gonna grow as this frame rail comes up. So yeah, dude, I think these are gonna work out really well. Push that in another, whatever the depth of this is. We'll actually punch this down and then push it back in there. That way, basically this bracket's gonna end up sitting like that, but up as high as we can get it. So, it's pretty tight, isn't it? It might not go the full amount. We definitely need to get it in there some. Don't really want it sticking out that far. That'll clear the bag nice, and it's not that big, huge, crazy way it's looking now. I'll trim these ears flush with this, and then that'll recess it and give it a little bit of strength underneath the chassis too. That actually worked out really good. That made it almost the flush mount. Just chop those ears back flush. Tighten those up a little better, and we'll just chop these guys off. This is actually going to end up having to come down. We're going to have to bring this down a couple inches. I may even make a little gusset come off because this is going to be below the frame rail. I may make a little gusset piece to kind of go back underneath the chassis at an angle. We got plenty of room on the bag. I'm going to buzz the front edge of this bracket back and cut it back to here. Get our mounting points here. You can actually cut 1 inch off the face of that bracket, and there's no issue with the bag whatsoever. I mean, we got plenty of room around the bag. As it compresses, you're going to get into the wheel cavity. The wheel cavity is going to be going up too, so I don't see it being an issue. Thing that bothers me. That's too close. So, okay, a little more cutting. Height is right though. Get my hand all the way in between everything. A good bit of clearance behind everything. My hand fits completely around the bag, and the bracket's not going to be in the way at all now. The tire gap's fine. That's never going to get in there. I think we can proceed with the bottom bracket and get this whole thing buttoned up. Pretty good shape of the upper bracket. And then I think we're going to cut this one down. And I'm actually going to radius out this so that it sits over top of the axle tube. I'm going to try to get this down on top of the axle tube just tall enough where we can actually get a nut underneath there and put a... Oh yeah, that's going to take some definite work. Yeah, we definitely don't need all of that. I think if I drop that, because I want to radius these, I'm going to cut this. I'll end up dropping that down at least another inch. It's down about 2 inches, should be really close. So pretty much going to do the same thing with this that I did with this. Chop it down and make it smaller, because right now, no matter, I can't push it far enough back for the center mounting hole to even be anywhere near where we need it. So we're going to shrink it, and then we're going to cut the radius over that.
Just a slot radius so it sits down on the axle tube nice. And we'll burn it to the axle tube. And I think we'll be happy. Progress, progress. Cut that. We're going to cut that. We're going to cut that. I'm going to do something kind of radius. Put us a little radius there to. Damn! I have to take a little bit out of the front side of that bracket and a little bit out of the back side. A little bit of twist in it. That's the axle side. One's upside down, one's right side up, and that's the chassis. Those work really well. Cylinder's missing a bolt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the other one's about to fall out. Yeah, we need to find a bolt for this wheel cylinder. too. I don't know, can we get to the... Yeah, I'm actually going to cut that out. I've got some tie wraps that snap into these holes. They've got like a little tree, you push them from the back side and they click into place. I'm going to try to keep them out of the way and away from debris. And mud and shit in them in there. And even in there, they're going to get mud and shit in them, so... Put them in this. Put them pointing out this way. They would have sent 2 nuts for those so you could set the depth. Yeah, I think those are good places for them. like you're doing a lot of extreme off-roading. In there. Cool. Now we need to address that in. That's 50 pounds. That's 70 psi.
Holy crap!
And it's level. The trick's going to be playing with the air so that the ride's not harsh. Yeah. That actually might be high on the side now. Take it down to about 60. That's 40 psi. Dude, that's amazing. Like it took. It's gonna feel like a new truck going down the road, seriously. Yeah. I actually want to see if the suspension. See if you can rock it a little bit. Yep. I want to see if it has any give at that, or if it's all right on the bag. Yeah, the suspension's still working. Sweet, dude, that's good.